The Netherlands is a country in Western Europe, but it also has some overseas territories in the Caribbean. It borders Germany to the east, Belgium to the south, and the North Sea to the north and west. The Netherlands literally means the low-lying countries in reference to its low elevation, with only about 50% of its land exceeding 1 meter above sea level and nearly 26% falling below sea level. This makes the Netherlands the geographically lowest lying country in Europe. The official languages of the Netherlands is Dutch, however English is also widely understood, and there are some other co-official languages like Papiamento in the Caribbean or West Frisian. With a total area of about 41,000 square kilometers, the Netherlands is the world's 131st largest country and about the same size as Switzerland, Denmark or Estonia. The largest city is Amsterdam, which also is the Dutch capital city and home to about 2.5 million people in its metropolitan area. Next comes Rotterdam, then Hague and Utrecht. In total, the Netherlands has 17.5 million inhabitants, making it the second most densely populated country in the European Union after Malta. About 50% of the Dutch population identifies with no religion and about 43% are Christians. Back in 1650, the Netherlands was the global leading power and controlled over 50% of global trade. In the so-called Dutch Golden Age, the Dutch built the best ships, allowing them to conquer the world and establish numerous colonies. That's why the Netherlands still has some overseas territories. By the way, the capital city of the Dutch colony in North America was today's New York, but at that point of time it was called New Amsterdam. As the world's financial center, it attracted highly skilled and educated people from all over the globe. The Dutch even invented the stock market, as the Amsterdam Stock Exchange is the oldest one and the Dutch East India Company was the first traded stock. Nevertheless, the Netherlands gave up its position to the British after losing the Anglo-Dutch Wars. Today, the Dutch economy isn't as strong as it was during the Dutch Golden Age. But we will take a look at the economy soon. The Netherlands is known for its windmills, the huge amount of bicycles, for Amsterdam's romantic canals, for Vincent van Gogh, for the Amsterdam Stock Exchange, for the tulips and the tulip mania, as well as for licorice. But as we will find out soon, the Netherlands has much more than that to offer. The flag of the Netherlands shows 3 equal horizontal stripes, dark red at the top, white in the middle and dark blue at the bottom. The Prinsenflag was the former flag of the Netherlands, but the orange color was replaced by the red one because the orange color used to fade quickly and the flag was not so easily recognizable on ships. The former influence of the Netherlands can be seen from the old flag of South Africa and the flag of New York City. The orange color still plays an important role in the culture of the Netherlands, and the flag of Luxembourg is quite similar to the flag of the Netherlands. The lion is the heroic symbol of the Netherlands, and the black-tailed godwit is the country's national bird. In the Netherlands, people pay with the euro. The Netherlands has the world's 17th largest economy and the 5th strongest one in the European Union. The Netherlands' geographic location in one of Europe's most densely populated areas allowed it to develop so fast. As mentioned, the Netherlands is about the same size as Switzerland, but has more than double the population of Switzerland. The UK, France, Germany and the Benelux states are countries in close proximity. Today, the services industry contributes to about 70% to the total GDP, while agriculture contributes just 1.6%. Additionally, the Netherlands accounts for more than 25% of all natural gas reserves in the European Union. Tourism contributes around 5% to the economic output and 10% to all jobs. Especially North Holland, the province in which Amsterdam is located at, is visited by international tourists, mainly by Germans, British and Belgians. The economic system is liberal and state interventions are not as great as in other European countries. The Netherlands' main export partners are Germany, Belgium and the UK, while the main import partners are China, Germany and Belgium. Later in this video there will be an interview with Ella and John, who moved from Austria to the Netherlands. They will talk about their journey Germany and will provide useful information to anyone who is interested in moving to the Netherlands. If you have an idea which country I should cover next, please let me know down in the comments. This video is part of a video series that covers informative facts and the migration procedure of many countries around the globe. I have created dedicated videos for countless countries worldwide. You can find the playlist linked in the video description below. But let's return to the Netherlands. What are the main upsides of moving to the Netherlands and what needs to be considered? As of the 2019 UN report, the Netherlands ranks 28th among the countries with the largest foreign-born populations. About 2.28 million people living in the Netherlands were not born there but moved to this country during their lifetime. The biggest foreign-born populations are the Turks, followed by the Moroccans, the Indonesians and the Germans. But what are the main upsides of moving to the Netherlands? Apart from the strong economy and relatively high wages, as we will find out soon, it is worth taking a look at the Dutch nature. As already mentioned, the Netherlands is a very flat country. There are a total of 3,000 kilometers of dikes that protect the flat regions of the country from storm surges. But how is it possible that the Netherlands' highest point in elevation is at 877 meters above sea level? The highest point, called Mount Scenery, is located on the Caribbean island of Saba, which is part of the Netherlands. The highest point on the mainland is the Walsenberg, with a height of 322 meters above sea level. Water shapes the Dutch nature and culture. Whether the sea or the rivers of the Netherlands, such as the Rhine, the Meuse or the Scheldt. The country's climate is influenced by the Atlantic Ocean. That is why the winters are mild, while summers are pleasantly cool and not too warm. Of course, this effect diminishes the further inland you go. The daily average temperatures in Amsterdam are at 17.6 degrees in July and 3.3 degrees in January, but still it can get significantly warmer in summer and significantly colder in winter. Let us also take a quick look at the country's culture. The Netherlands was a pioneer in globalization, which means that it is not surprising that people from all different parts of the world call the Netherlands their home. This also affects the Dutch cuisine. Traditional dishes are Hollandse Nieuwe, the Dutch honey cake, uitsmetter met ham en kaas, Groninger metwurst, dairy products such as the Gouda cheese, frikadelle with fries, but also sweets such as pancakes, Groninger poffert, poffertjes, white bread slices with hagelslag, or Zeeuwse bolus. In the 20th century, the cuisine of the Netherlands was complemented by Indonesian cuisine, since Indonesia was a colony of the Netherlands for a long time. It was called Dutch India. Cycling plays a big part in the Dutch culture. Thanks to excellent cycling infrastructure, 38% of the Dutch people list the bicycle as their most frequent mode of transportation on a typical day. Especially if you are planning to move to a Dutch city, you won't be dependent on a car. This not only makes you save a fortune, but also makes your life much healthier. In fact, there are more than 22 million bicycles, which means that there are more bicycles in the Netherlands than people living there. But besides the cycling infrastructure, other infrastructures such as highways, airports or shipping ports are well developed and taken care of. The Amsterdam Schiphol Airport is Europe's third busiest airport, and the Dutch port of Rotterdam is the largest deep-sea port worldwide. Moreover, the Netherlands has a well-developed social welfare state. This results in low healthcare costs and high job security. However, this also means that taxes are quite high. Thanks to the fact that the Netherlands borders so many countries in Europe, travel times are short, which makes it possible to explore many countries on the European continent without having to travel thousands of kilometers. Additionally, security is high. As of the Numbeo Security Index, the most secure Dutch city is called Groningen and ranks 21st among many cities worldwide. Yet another upside are the high average wages in the Netherlands. On average, the Dutch earn 47,400 euros or about $57,500 annually. This makes the Netherlands rank 15th worldwide. What does it cost to live in the Netherlands? If you live off $3,000 a month in Miami, Florida, you need about $3,150 for the same quality of life in Amsterdam. This means that the cost of living in Amsterdam is about 5% higher than the cost of living in Miami. So you see that living in Amsterdam isn't as cheap as living in other European countries. But in spite of all these upsides, there are also some drawbacks when it comes to moving to the Netherlands. One of those downsides is the high income tax, as well as the fact that housing costs have skyrocketed in recent years. Furthermore, some locals are not so amused by the mass tourism in the Netherlands' largest cities. The Netherlands has become Europe's hotspot for drug smuggling. Sometimes it is also referred as Europe's Colombia. Criminal organizations are flourishing, and politicians who do something about it get, one has to say it, executed in public. Other than that, the Netherlands seems to be a great country to move to. Let us continue with interviewing Ella and John. Ella and John, when did you move to the Netherlands and which city did you move to?
So we moved to Amsterdam in 2017, which
it was quite a coincidence actually. We didn't pick the country kind of picked us.
Yeah, it was kind of a situation of throwing a dart at a map, sort of. Like, not literally, but that's sort of how it worked out for us.
And we did not know how lucky we were, because we fell in love with the country in the first weekend basically, and it got better and better with the time.
What do you enjoy most about your life in the Netherlands?
There is absolutely so much that we think is fantastic about the Netherlands. I mean, we've got little kids now, and there was a study saying that kids in the Netherlands are the happiest kids on earth, which, you know, I mean, that's a great argument, but otherwise...
Yeah, in Amsterdam people were really super open-minded, and we also looked into other cities, Den Haag, and Rotterdam a little bit, but we lived in Amsterdam for 2.5 years, and we really loved it. We lived in the Pipe in New West, and the whole culture with the bicycles is super, because you stay fit just because you have a life.
Exactly, you stay fit, you're in a good mood because you spend at least 20 minutes a day on a bicycle, and that kind of physical exercise is really good for your mental state and everything.
Another thing,
yes?
Another thing is the canals and the water everywhere. It's so fantastic nice, and also for Christmas they decorate everything. I thought I'm living in like a Peter Pan land and not in a country. It was really magical. It has such a nice vibration, and we really enjoyed it there.
What do you miss most about Austria?
Well, the thing is, we are actually currently in Austria because after we got our first kid, we were a little...
We had a second.
We had a second in Austria. We were a little overwhelmed, so we moved back to Austria for parental support and everything. And then we realized that life in Austria, we really don't enjoy it anywhere near as much as we did the Netherlands. And so we're in the process of moving back to the Netherlands and are looking at all the different cities and stuff where to move to. We're going to move back in probably about 3 months or something. 3 months. Hopefully. To, yeah. We don't have an exact date, but we're definitely moving back. And so currently we really don't miss, like I can't see us missing much about Austria, not for a while at least.
Because we are in Vienna.
Yeah, right now, but also, I mean, when we lived in the Netherlands, there wasn't much that I remember missing.
The food, baby, the sausages,
yeah, because they don't have all the smoked meats, obviously, because the humidity is completely different, so they can't smoke food, the smoked meats the way they do in Austria, but that's a tiny detail.
And the Wiener Braten, that's also very nice.
Yeah, but how often do we go?
Well, we didn't go much because it's COVID.
Yeah.
Was it hard for you to learn Dutch?
I don't think so, because we are German speakers and are also English speakers. Like, he is native English, I'm not, I'm just Austrian, he's Australian and Austrian, and so Dutch is a kind of mixture between German and English.
Pretty much a mixture between German and English, like with a few French words thrown in for good measure, so we found it really easy. I mean, it really, and also when you're there and you immerse yourself in it, I mean, picking up a language is quick.
But in Amsterdam, especially in the center, they tend to talk in English with you, even though if you try to talk in Dutch, because they're really good with English, but then you don't have that many opportunities to practice. But in New West, or when you go further out of the city, you will find more people who have the patience to talk to foreigners like us, learning their new language. And Dutch is it's a very, for me, it's like a funny sounding language. It's very like how I would talk to a child or so. Like, oh, look, goed.
What advice would you give people who are interested in moving to the Netherlands?
watch our YouTube channel, because we made like a shitload, I shouldn't say shitload, a lot of videos about moving to the Netherlands. But really, the one thing that I think keeps coming up is that the Dutch people are surprisingly direct and they don't mean it. And I think that's the one thing that foreigners struggle with when they move to the Netherlands, that they that a Dutch person will just say exactly what they think without sort of sugarcoating it at all, which other cultures tend to. And so people take offense, and that's one thing you should know, like no offense is meant.
Yeah, or another cultural thing that is more with a bicycle culture. You should not walk in a bicycle lane, so really get angry.
Yeah, the bicycles always have right of way, right? Even if technically they don't, they will still act as if they do. And yeah, that's one thing you definitely have to get your head around when moving there.
But what is one tip that we would give to if we would move to the Netherlands now? I would really suggest learn the language before you move there. It is a big advantage, and it is hard to find a flat, especially in the bigger cities. So if you could arrange that before you move, that would be great. And it is quite expensive. The Netherlands are
they're not cheap. Yeah, they're absolutely not cheap. Even if you compare them to like Austria, another Western European country, which is also not that cheap. But the Netherlands, especially Amsterdam, is relatively expensive. I think only like Paris and London are more expensive than Amsterdam, really. Oh, Stockholm as well, yeah.
And the health system is not as good as in Austria, for example, if you compare it to Austria, but for us it is enough, and everybody is kind of responsible for their own insurance. It's not the standard that you are insured by your employer. It's a very different system. If you need more advice how to move to the Netherlands, we have really a lot of content on our YouTube channel. At the moment we are in the process of moving back to the Netherlands, and we're going through all the cities that are an option for us.
Cities and neighborhoods of Amsterdam, because the plan is to move back to Amsterdam because Amsterdam is special. And so yeah, we're going through all the different cities and everything and checking it out.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I hope you didn't have too many baby sounds in the background. See ya, tot ziens.
Doei.
Doei.
Thank you Ella and John for taking time to join this interview. Please make sure to check out their YouTube channel, linked in the video description below, for more informative videos about moving to the Netherlands. They truly make informative videos about their lives in the Netherlands, so if you are planning to move to the Netherlands, then go check out their channel. But what needs to be done in order to move to the Netherlands? As the Netherlands is part of the European Union, citizens of the European Union have freedom of movement, and citizens of many countries in North and South America, as well as Australia, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand and some more, can travel to the Netherlands visa-free for up to 90 days. This comes in handy since it gives you the possibility to get to know the Netherlands a bit better before deciding to move there. If you plan to work in the Netherlands, you need a work or residence permit for this. Whether you can get a residence permit or a work permit depends on your situation and the type of work you want to do. In case you are interested in more details, please check out the link in the video description for more information.